Hey people! So, my name is Ashley Hum, and I'm about to give you a speech on why book banning is bad. Now note, this is a speech with slides, so if you have the attached slide document, please open it and follow along whenever I say next slide. Beep! And other stories. Why banning books is bad. Next slide. First, here's just a few of the books that have been banned over the years. Next slide. Careful, they come with a warning. Next slide. Okay, imagine flames leaping over a fireproof house. Inside, paper quickly disintegrating into ash. These ash piles are all that are left of the beloved titles that you know today. The Scarlet Pimpernel, Moby Dick, A Tale of Two Cities. This is the world of Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451, which is at the height of book banning. While this scenario is definitely taken to the extreme, it's not out of the realm of possibility if we continue to ban books as we are. One book here, another one there, soon the list is longer than your arm. But so what, you might ask? Why do I care? I don't even like those books. Why should I care if they're gone? Well, it's because books banned are not just books banned. They represent so much more. When we ban books, we are also taking away our own basic and legal right to freedom of speech, as well as limiting our own knowledge. Next slide. Book banning, the 5 W's. Who? Who can ban a book? Anybody. Person, group, person working within a group. What? What is banning a book? Well, a ban typically comes after a challenge, and a challenge is an attempt to remove or restrict materials based upon the objections of a person or group, whereas the ban is actually taking the material out of the place. Where? Books are banned in public institutions worldwide. For example, books are banned in schools, and books are banned in entire countries. Next slide. When are books banned? Every single year, ever since 1982. I'm pretty sure they were banned before then, but 1982 is when we started keeping track. According to the American Library Association, since 1982, more than 11,300 books have been challenged, with even more going unreported. Now, that's not to say that all 11,300 books were banned, because banning is handled at a local level, so there's no national statistic for that. Why? Why are books banned? Mostly out of fear. People are scared of the influence of religion, people are scared of the repercussions of politics, and people are scared of society's response. For example, for society's response, one of my favorite books of all time is Grasshopper Jungle by Andrew Smith. I like it because of the depth of the characters, the ingenuity of the language, everything. But when I first got the book, nobody else wanted to read it, and as of yet, I don't think anybody's ever checked it out of the library yet. That's because when you read the back of the book doesn't seem like something you'd want to be caught reading, because there's a certain stigma of culture, a prudishness, for lack of a better word, that dictates what is appropriate to be seen reading. So, books are banned out of fear. Next slide. Now that you know all of this, why should you stop it? Next slide. First of all, book banning is technically illegal. The First Amendment of the Constitution guarantees us, as American citizens, the right to freedom of speech and of the press, among other things. Supplementing that, in 1982, the U.S. Supreme Court Board of Education Island True School District v. PICO rules that material cannot be removed from schools according to the management's opinions. This protects the right of students to express as well as receive information, building on the 1943 ruling, Martin v. City of Struthers, that says citizens have the right to receive information. Now with the 1982 ruling, you can express information as well as receive information. Book banning should not be allowed because it is technically illegal on several counts. Book banning is also an insult to people's intelligence. Book banning, like I said, is not just book banning. If you ban one book, you set the bar for all the books that will come next after it. Book banning then eventually will lead to self-censoring, which Cambridge Dictionary defines as control of what you do or say in order to avoid annoying or offending others, but without being told officially that such control is necessary. Self-censorship will lead, eventually, to possibly great ideas and opinions from ever being voiced, therefore limiting our capacity to think for ourselves if we don't hear the whole story. Next slide. Mind games. If you've ever read 1984, you may notice that in the book there is a new language called Newspeak, in which there are no words to express dissent of any kind. They are all labeled under the umbrella term crime speak. You can't express your opinion because there's literally no word for it. Again, this is another extreme example, but book banning does silence opinions and thoughts and leaves behind ideals rather than reality. For example, if Uncle Tom's Cabin had been suppressed by white slaveholders for long enough, then the other people would never have heard the true story. People should be allowed to form their own opinions regardless of offense, and they should have the right to know the entire story. Next slide. So what can be done about book banning? Well, libraries and bookstores are separated for a reason, and parents can absolutely screen what their children read. Just use your common sense. Just because you don't like a book doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to like the book as well. You can stay within your personal boundaries without having to ruin the experience for others. Next slide. Books are censored because people are scared. They're scared of religion, scared of politics, or scared of the public, because, let's face it, the public is pretty scary. People censor because they personally disagree with a book and don't think that others should have to be exposed to said book. But let people have their own opinions. Formulate your own thoughts. Just, you do you. Don't be scared. Decide for yourself and let your mind grow. Because knowledge actually is power. Thank you very much for listening to my speech.